Hey everybody, Tony Mejia here. Welcome to the Playbook Experts YouTube channel, or welcome back if you're a repeat offender. I'll remind you at the beginning to like and subscribe. We're going to be doing videos for the NBA for the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs, and we'll have some MLB and soccer videos occasionally. You can always watch our weekly roundtables with Mark Lawrence and the crew, and I'll be doing these recap videos with some free picks for the foreseeable future. So right now, doing extremely well in the NBA. MLB has also started well, and we've got soccer really have been profitable for the last few weeks. And as far as the NBA goes, it was a 14-game card on Tuesday night, and the word of the night in the NBA is soleus. And you probably know what that means. I'm referring to Giannis Antetokounmpo, who went down with a scary-looking injury. First was supposed to be a calf strain, still might be. He's got to get an MRI, but most believe that it is going to be a soleus injury. That's a muscle in the back of the leg that's responsible for keeping us upright, and it's what Giannis Antetokounmpo strained and will likely keep him out for the remainder of the regular season. Again, we'll see what happens on Wednesday, but I believe that we've seen the last of him this regular season. The Bucks ended up winning over the Boston Celtics 104-91. They ended up being a 3.5-point favorite because Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford both missed the game. And it was an off night for Boston in a game that the Bucks had to have. So that was part of my package, and I was a big winner with them. Patrick Beverley, 20 points and 10 rebounds. He's really going to be a driving force going forward, and Doc Rivers made the right move in inserting him into the starting lineup in place of Malik Beasley. So we'll see if Milwaukee can turn things around. But again, they're going to have to do it without Giannis. Bobby Portis will probably be inserted into Doc Rivers' starting lineup for a huge Wednesday game against the Orlando Magic. Speaking of which, they lost 118-106 in Houston without Franz Wagner, who's a key cog for them dealing with a sprained ankle. Fred VanVleet, 37 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, hit 6 threes, part of a 15 three-point onslaught from Houston. And at this point, the Rockets, with wins over Utah and Portland, will clinch a 500 record, their first not having a losing season since COVID shortened 2020. And that was the year that they won the Southwest and last made the playoffs. They're 59-177 over the last 3 seasons. So kudos to Ime Udoka for getting that turned around. As far as Orlando, like I said, they're going to be in Milwaukee for a huge game. And right now, they could be as high as the number 2 seed by the time things end on Sunday, or they can slip all the way into the play-in round. I mean, that's how close the Eastern Conference is. The Philadelphia 76ers certainly putting pressure to escape the play-in right now. They currently are the 7th seed, but they defeated the Cade Cunningham-less Detroit Pistons 120-102, covering a 15.5-point spread. Joel Embiid looked like Joel Embiid, 37 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. He played nearly 36 minutes, went 4 for 9 from 3, but he did slightly tweak his knee chasing a loose ball. I have a feeling we're going to have scares with Joel and that knee going forward. But the 76ers did look good, winning without Tyrese Maxey, who sat due to hip tightness. And we saw the Buddy Hield effect when Joel Embiid is in the lineup, 5 for 9 from threes off the bench. Again, the Sixers won by 18 over Detroit. And they're, again, going to put pressure on all these teams as they look to escape the play-in round. I think they'll win out. So a lot of the teams will have to see what they're able to do, try to surpass that 47 win plateau, because I think Philly's going to finish 47-35. Indiana's already 46-34, thanks to a 140-123 win over the Raptors. I had them covering their 13.5, 14-point spread, and it came down to the wire. Gary Trent Jr. missed a late 3. Tyrese Halliburton had 30 points and 5 rebounds and 5 assists to lead the way for Indiana. Obi Toppin, 23 points in 21 minutes. He was a key factor in that fourth quarter. And Indiana looking to potentially win the Central Division, because that's up for grabs. They play the Cleveland Cavaliers on Friday night in Cleveland. And a victory there, and Milwaukee without Giannis potentially slipping could open the door for Indiana to not only move out of 6, but all the way up to potentially 3. The Miami Heat are also trying to escape the play-in round. They won a marathon 117-111 in double overtime, much to my chagrin, because I had the under in that game, under 219, which looked really good at the end of regulation, and would have still won at the end of overtime had DeJounte Murray made a final three-point shot. Jimmy Butler held the ball extremely long at the end of regulation and late in that first overtime with a possession that ended in a turnover. So I don't know what he was thinking, but Jimmy and Tyler Hero did play well. Hero had over 30 points. Jimmy had 25, 8, 9. Nikola Jovic with 23 points as the X factor. They won without Terry Rozier, who's dealing with a neck issue. We'll see if he suits up going forward. And Duncan Robinson still dealing with that painful sounding back pain related to a facet syndrome, a disc issue. So we'll see if those two will be in the lineup for Miami as they try to win the Southeast Division, because at this point, if they can win out and Orlando stumbles, they would definitely move into the top four potentially as a division winner. The Bucks are right now at 48-31. Again, they have to survive not having Giannis for the foreseeable future. The Knicks are at 47-32. They were able to pull off a victory over the Chicago Bulls, another 40-plus point game from Jalen Brunson. Orlando and Cleveland are at 46-33. We'll see how they shake out. And the Pacers right there at 46-34. Philly 45-35, and the Heat 44-35. So again, the Bucks will be the 2 seed. If they end up tied with anybody, as like the Knicks as their closest competitor, even though those two teams finished 2-2, they would end up tied as a division winner, win the tiebreaker, and be the number 2. The Knicks would be the 3. The Magic would be the number 4 against the Cavs or Pacers as a division winner by that same rationale. And again, we've got a lot can happen still in the Southeast Division, in the Central Division. Like I mentioned, the Pacers and Cavs play Friday. Indy is up 2-1 in that series thanks to victories in late October and November. So if the Pacers can win in Cleveland, they'd be sitting pretty, potentially catch Milwaukee, and surprisingly win the Central. The 76ers, like I said, they've got the Magic and the Nets at home. If they win both games, it would be 47-35 finish for Philadelphia, looking really good with Embiid in the mix. And Orlando at Philadelphia is going to be part of a massive Friday that includes the Bucks visiting the Thunder. That's going to be a tough game to win without Giannis. The Pelicans at the Warriors. We'll talk about them in a second. And the Suns visiting the Sacramento Kings. Wednesday is going to be great. We'll have a free play on that slate here at the end of the video. Dallas visits Miami. Orlando is at Milwaukee. San Antonio is at Oklahoma City, setting up another Victor Wembanyama Chet Holmgren matchup. Hopefully Wemby plays. The Timberwolves will play at the Denver Nuggets in a game that could decide the overall top seed in the Western Conference. And Phoenix and the Clippers go at it in round 2 at Crypto.com Arena. The Suns, in their home finale, were a disaster, losing their game 105-92, but they were down 37-10 at the end of the first quarter. The big three missed pretty much every shot they took. No Yusuf Nurkic due to injury. Book finished 1 for 11, and despite James Harden missing the game with foot inflammation, Kawhi Leonard out with knee inflammation, it was Russell Westbrook who came out the hottest, inflamed, pardon the pun, 16 points, 15 rebounds, 15 assists. The Suns just weren't ready for him and the energy that he brought. Paul George led 6 Clippers in double figures with 23 points. And LA is closing in on that number 4 seed. They hold the tiebreak over Dallas for the number 5, and they're home the rest of the way with the rematch against the Suns on Wednesday night, and then winnable games against the Jazz and Rockets on Friday and Sunday. Going back to the Thunder, they are right there hovering. They got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams back and held off the Sacramento Kings 112-105. Domantas Sabonis' double-double streak ended at 61. He finished with just 8 points, despite his 13 rebounds and 5 assists, but shot just 2 for 7. Great job by Chet Holmgren to hold him down. SGA, 40 points in his return, and it spoiled a really strong performance from De'Aaron Fox, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and Keon Ellis with 26, 6, and 5. He's filled in nicely with Malik Monk out probably for the rest of the regular season with an MCL sprain. It's out, well, definitely for the rest of the end of the regular season. He will be back at May 1st at the earliest if Sacramento is still around, and we'll see if they're able to avoid the play-in. That is unlikely. And we'll also see if Monk has done enough to win Sixth Man of the Year. Naz Reid is right now charging hard, even though he's starting games and has for the last few weeks. With Karl Anthony Towns back, incidentally, Towns has been cleared to resume basketball activities, so we should see him back in the lineup sooner than later for Minnesota, which got a real scare from the Washington Wizards. They were down 46-26 at one point. I actually like Minnesota minus 10.5 in that first half, so that was one of my 3 losses. In addition to that, Heat terrible overtime loss, but the Wolves managed to rally, got 51 points from Anthony Edwards, and beat the Wizards 130-121 to set up the big Wednesday night showdown in Denver. And Rudy Gobert each played more than 37 minutes, so that's something to watch. The Nuggets had a tougher time than expected, I should say, with the Utah Jazz, but ended up covering 15.5, winning 111-95. Only Nikola Jokic and Peyton Watson played over 30 minutes. Those commercials they do with the pony, they're underrated. And so is Peyton Watson, who really contributed off the bench. Jamal Murray had 28 points in 27 minutes, and Aaron Gordon missed the game, but is probable to return from his foot strain for this Minnesota showdown on Wednesday night. The Dallas Mavericks, they rolled 130-104 over Charlotte, covering 12.5 as PJ Washington returned to his old stomping grounds. Dallas came out with a lot of juice, led 36-14 just over 10 minutes in. And despite Kyrie Irving shooting just 6 of 15, that outcome was really never in doubt. Luka Doncic, 39 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, triple-double, number 21 for him, and he broke Mark Aguirre's single-season scoring record for the Mavericks. The Pelicans, they also had a tougher time than expected, scuffling with the depleted Blazers early. Big game for DeAndre Ayton with 30 points and 13 rebounds. But ultimately, after the break, the Hornets composed themselves and pulled away. Trey Murphy had 31 points. CJ McCollum had 29. And the Pels now look locked in at the number 6 seed temporarily. They're 47-32. And although the Phoenix Suns hold that tiebreaker, the Pelicans right now would be the number 6 seed if the season ended today, but they still have to finish at Sacramento and Golden State before hosting the Los Angeles Lakers on Sunday. And again, a ton to be determined in the West. The Warriors defeated the Lakers 134-120 in the final game of the night. Golden State with 26 three-pointers, one shy of the franchise record. Draymond Green started 5 for 5. He finished with 15, 6, and 10. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry combined for 11 for 16 from beyond the arc. Warriors look like the Warriors, now 25-11 since January 30th, the second best record in the NBA. They've won 8 of 9 and also hold the tiebreaker over the Lakers. So with a mark of 44-35, if they win out, they're going to host that playing round game against LA, which is 45-35. If those two were to meet, and Golden State will play at Portland, that's a win, and host the New Orleans Pelicans and Utah Jazz. They'll beat the latter, but we'll see if they can hold off New Orleans. That's going to be another huge game that will determine what happens ultimately in the Western Conference. Again, that'll be played on Friday. The Pelicans, though, 47-32. We'll see what they can do. They control their own destiny, but have to win at Sacramento, at Golden State, and host the Lakers. Winning 2 out of those 3 would get it done. Suns, again, the rematch in against the Clippers in LA tonight, and then they will visit Sacramento and Minnesota. So nothing easy for Phoenix. They may end up in the play-in. The Kings host the Pelicans, host the Suns, and host the Trailblazers. So if they can get a split of those 2 games between either New Orleans or Phoenix, you presume that they'll beat Portland in the home finale like the Bean and potentially escape the play-in. But again, still a ton to be decided in the NBA, and we'll go into Wednesday hoping for another free winner. Again, gave you the Spurs over the Grizzlies, so let's make it 2 in a row for the week. We're going to ride the over on the points, rebounds, and assists prop on Orlando's Paolo Banchero without Wagner playing, and I don't think he'll shoot up tonight due to the ankle issue. It's the Boncaro show in terms of playing catalyst. He had 21.7 rebounds and 6 assists in the losing cause on Tuesday night. I think he'll play big against a against a Milwaukee Bucks squad that, again, won't have Giannis to protect the paint. Check out all of our stuff at playbooksports.com, Playbook Experts. Well, no show this week, no roundtable show, but we will have a playoff preview next week, and we'll also look at some MLB futures. And I'll, again, have videos every week, every day of the week this week. So come back to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe. And again, visit my page, wt.buzz/TM, right there by my name. I've hit, 6 consecutive profitable packages in the NBA, and now 10 of the last 13. So running hot. Let's go ahead and be profitable. All right, guys, like and subscribe. We'll catch you on Thursday. For playbookexperts.com, I'm Tony Mejia.